welcome to the Mama Nevin Knits YouTube channel. My name is Joan, and today is July 27th. This is episode 82, and it is 85 degrees where I am, which is wonderful for us for July. But I think it's going to heat up this next week. I am also Mama Nevin on YouTube and on Instagram and Telegram and Ravelry. Okay, now I remembered everything. How's everybody doing today? I barely got away from the shark. Yay! Let me just go ahead and get into this. I wanted to make a basket, and this looks like yuck right now. But what I'm going to do, and I will put my pattern up so you can see it. I was trying to find something that I could use to put starch on this and stretch it out and, have it hold that shape then. And so my husband and I are out in the garage looking around for something, and I saw this tissue box, just a regular tissue box, and let me see if I can get it to do it now. Probably won't, but but it was perfect. So what I am going to do during this next week is I will put saran wrap all the way around this box, and then put this in starch, and then stretch it out on this tissue box and let it dry. And then when it dries, it should be a little basket. So I got that done. What I was planning on doing today was ripping this out in front of you. This was my first try. Y'all, it's just a hot mess. It really is. The pattern was more of a recipe than a pattern, and I didn't realize that. So, it was free, so I'm not going to complain about it. But the instructions were, make a rectangle. What? I mean, what's my stitch count? Something. No, just make a rectangle. So I attempted to make a rectangle in the round, and no matter what I did, it just looked awful. So I will be ripping this out and reusing the yarn for something else. So that's that, and that is done. Okay, now my socks. And I got a lot of comments about my bag, and I will talk to you about that at the end. These are some bags I made 6 or 7 years ago. So I'll talk to you about all of that. So here are my Moga socks. Moga. And I actually got quite a bit of those done today because I had to go to the doctor. So I worked on those in the doctor's office while I was waiting, and as you can tell, I had to wait a little bit. So this is how much I had done from the week before, and then this is how much I got accomplished. And I have actually started a little bit of the heel, or did I? I thought I did. Yeah, back here. And I was like moving along on the heel, and then I realized that I had a row that I had not slipped the stitches. So I had to rip all that out. I wasn't too happy about that. But anyway, I really like this yarn. It's interesting to knit with, I will say that. And I was going to see if I could find the label. Yes, here's the label. It is... It's called Dottie. Duh. Anzula, Dottie Marigold. So here is the tag for that. And So that's what I got done on that this week. Not very much, but, you know, whatever. whatever you get done is something that wasn't done before. I'm trying to be all philosophical here. All right. Now, and that is for everything I worked on this week was for knit-alongs. So my basket was for Knits and White Satin Shark Week, and the orange socks are for the Moga Cow, and then this is for Summer on the Lanai, because these colors could not be more 80s if they tried. This, I will show the pattern, you know, like I always do at the beginning, but this yarn is from Laser Sheep Yarns. And this one, the pink, I think it's Yarn Lover. I don't know. But that's Laser Sheep Yarns. And I had worked with them once before. And so when I saw them at the Pomona thing last year, I bought some more. And then the teal color is called Sheep It Off. So that's funny. All right, so I did figure out, I have a little bit of bad news this year. I am not going to be able to go to the Southern California festival, yarn festival this year. I've been bugging my husband and bugging him for us to go camping. And so I finally got a couple of dates out of him, and that stinker picked the date of the festival. I don't know how he managed that, but he did. So anyway, it was probably me. But anyway, let's see. Okay, so next week, my plans are to work on the orange socks, the shawl. I got to go back to my mosaic crochet because I miss it. And maybe the Battenberg. I do, however, I have a little thing here that I pulled like 2 weeks ago. So I need to put that in my memory blanket. Right. Okay. The only incoming I had, I actually bought this morning. We went to Dollar Tree. I was looking for something specific. They didn't have it, so you know you gotta buy something at Dollar Tree, right? Right. So hang on. I want to unwrap at least one of these so you can see it. Okay. So here is what I think I'm going to use for the bottom part of a bag someday. Oh no, it's really bad. I'm sorry. And then this will be the main fabric, because that is really cute. I don't care what anybody says. So that's what I'm going to do. And I may be doing it soon because I checked my stats this morning. There's my phone. I want to check again to make sure I'm correct before I say this. So I am at 249 subscribers. So when and if I hit 250, this bag will be the giveaway. So, little incentive there. Tell your friends. Okay. All right, we got the fabric. Mouse and cows. Don't forget to check the spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet is, if you can't find it, I will have a link below. But then also on Instagram, you can go to Mama Nevin and go to my link tree, and it's on there. So let's look at our Mouse and Cows. Now, one of them is Leah Loves to Knit is coming to an end this next week. So July 31st will be the end with that. Let's see. Looks like everybody else is mostly good. Then after that is going to be mine, Knit with Joan, because the little darlings will be going back to school August 10th. So I will draw on August 11th. So as long as you have it in before I draw, and who knows when I'll draw. It may be morning, it may be afternoon, who knows. So then that will count for an entry. Wake up, brain. All right. No kids or chips this week. I sent a text message to all of them and said, I need to see your face. So my husband sent me a picture of his face. He keeps me entertained. So we had a busy old people's week this week. I had to go to the eye doctor. I had to go to the eye doctor on Monday, and he did confirm that I will be having cataract surgery. And when I have cataract surgery, I will be off work for a week. Now, whether I will be crafting during that week, I don't know. It depends. So, I'm just going to play it by ear. And then that night after I went to the eye doctor, came home, I was sitting in my chair just kind of looking at, doom scrolling. And I heard, Jody, which is what my husband calls me. And I was like, what? And he comes in the door and he's got blood pouring from his hand. His knee was all messed up. My husband is on blood thinners. So he had fallen in the backyard chasing Pirate, and he had blood everywhere. It took forever to clean him up because, again, blood thinners, it doesn't stop bleeding. So we finally got him patched up, and I got him all tucked in for the night, and it was something. So he's been kind of out of commission this past week. So Thursday, I had to go back to the eye doctor, and this is the funny part because my doctor is where my physical office is. So I had to go back to the doctor, but it was like 30 minutes away, which is fine. I knew the risk when I took it. So, but they only had me in there like 5-10 minutes just to look into these machines. And my husband was like, couldn't they have done that when you were here Monday? And I was like, yeah, I think. So anyway, my eyes have been measured, and they are going to be able to figure out what size lens I need for my eye, and so that's that. Pirate came in just a little while ago, and his whole face is just covered in dirt, and his paws are dirty, and I was like, oh, you had fun, didn't you? I'm going to put a picture up here of what my husband found, why his face was dirty. He was digging a hole to China. I don't think anybody will see this before this happens, but I'm going to be part of the Shark Week closing ceremonies here in a little bit, and I'm going to be part of Knit Night tomorrow night. So I was on Knit Night this past week. No, it wasn't. That I was supposed to be on Knit Night last week, and my eyes had been dilated, and my pupils were so large, I looked like a drugger. So I was like, I think I'm going to pass this time. Okay. So I'm going to be on tomorrow night. So my show and tell today is my flag bag that I got a lot of interest in. So I made a bag for each month of the year, like the theme of that month that I felt like it was. I did these maybe 6-7 years ago. And it's not just a bag, it's a whole thing. Let's see, that's that. So I also made this little notions pouch to go with it. So each month has the bag, which this is my big bag. For me, this is my big bag. This is the size that I use when I'm making bags for the girls for their makeup. And so I was so insane about it that I even made sure that I had the same thing in each bag. So here's a needle, and here's some counters that I made, and here's the little box to put stitch markers in. I can never tell which is the bottom of these boxes. Okay, there we go. And then this, I have a ton of these if anybody wants one. These are to help you thread your needle. So I have that, and, you know, stitch markers. I don't know if you can see that. So I wanted each of these bags to be that if you wanted to start a project, you could throw that project in this bag and go. And so I made sure they were all the same. Now, they are not all the same any longer because I have taken stuff out of each one of them. You know, like, oh, wait, I need that needle. So I would take it out. But let me see if I can show you the inside of these bags and how they looked. So each bag had to have 3 fabrics. So we had an interior fabric, which was the flag. And then we have, on the other side of this, we have pockets. So, and they are not closed pockets. So whatever you put in there won't stop. This is just for you to put your skeins of yarn so they don't get away. So I put this back together. But then I also had, and I don't know what happened to the one for this one. I'll have to look for that. They also each had a DPN holder. Let me see if I can find it in this one. This is August. I'll be showing you that one next month. But here's the DPN holder that I made for August. And so this one has one in there somewhere. And then they each had one of these. What's that? Okay. And you know, each one had stuff. Each one has stuff that's been left in it from other projects. So, and like I said, I don't know where my DPN holders are for this one. I'll have to see if I can locate it without a lot of problems. Alrighty, so that is what I have for today, which I know is not much. I'm going to try and get a little bit more done next week. We'll see. Okay? Alrighty, thank you for stopping by. I hope that you decide to stop by again next week. Bye-bye.